Hi guys, so if you missed today's lesson, you missed a lesson on two different Marxist theories. So last lesson we looked at Marxism in general. This theory looks at two sociologists that consider themselves to be Marxists, but they're slightly more up to date, so they've changed things a little bit. So the first one we're going to do is Gramsci. Okay, so I've sent you a cartoon, and if you could read through that, you'll see in a cartoon that capitalism developed because the actions of a religious group who worked hard to please God. Now, this is different from Marxist theory because it doesn't just see the structure of capitalism coming about and shaping our behaviour. It looks at how through our actions, through our free will, we can have an impact on developing capitalism. So what this theory is saying is actually our actions, we've got a lot more free will than what Marx thought. Okay, so on the next slide you will see that it says, so long as the rest of society accept the ruling class ideology displayed in media and education, there'll be no revolution. So what he's done there is said that we accept capitalism and therefore capitalism maintains. But the second we choose not to accept it, it will go. Now, there's two things that are going to make us realise that we don't want to accept capitalism. These are illustrated in two images below. So I'd like you to write each of these points in your own words. Firstly, the ruling class have started to lose some of their power. If we think of the typical business model, you don't just have the ruling class at the top controlling all the workers, because that wouldn't work. What they've had to do is promote some of the workers up to be managers to maintain their workforce and keep them going. This means they've lost some of their power over to these managers, which have made them slightly weaker. The second thing is, although we're constantly bombarded with ideology that capitalism is fair, this contrasts with our experience of day-to-day life, where we might live in poor housing, we might witness homelessness. So what we get is a dual consciousness where we experience the ideology which contrasts with our real life experiences, and eventually one day our real life experiences will win. So if I could get you to write both of those in your own words. What they think will happen is we'll create a counter-hegemonic bloc. What this is people who know about Marxism and are aware of the problems with communism are called organic intellectuals. They will come together throughout society to protest capitalism and raise awareness of communism. So if I could get you to describe that in your own words. If you want help, in the notes below I've made a link to a video of communist protests so you can see what it looks like, the organic intellectuals, what they do as a counter-hegemonic bloc. However, this theory exaggerates our ability to overthrow capitalism, because if we think about the realities of walking out of our job and joining a protest, what that will mean for many of us is extreme poverty and deprivation, which in people who have families, for example, wouldn't be able to do. So that's your evaluation for Gramsci. Okay, your second paragraph is Althusser. Okay, now if you look, Marx had an idea of a base superstructure, which is the idea that capitalism is the one thing that controls all agencies of socialisation, media, politics, the government. They control all of these things, and then that controls the working class. Now, Althusser thought slightly differently. He said it's a bit more complex than that. He said capitalism, politics, and the media work together to control us. So they all happen to share an interest, so they work together to control us. So if I can get you to answer those two questions based on what I've just said. If you're not sure, this is quite tough, so let me know. Okay, he says, what Althusser argues is we were never going to overthrow capitalism. We're never going to overthrow capitalism for two reasons. First of all, the repressive state apparatus is too strong. So things like the police force, the army, have the power to physically stop us overthrowing capitalism. Secondly, ideological state apparatus is too strong. And so things like the media, the education system controls our thinking, so we will never overthrow capitalism. So he doesn't like the humanist approach because he doesn't like the perspective that we have complete free will. He thinks that wider structures shape our behaviour so much. Now, if you remember last lesson, false consciousness is the idea that we believe capitalism is fair. Now, Althusser takes this a bit further because he says the fact that we think we can overthrow capitalism is just another part of false consciousness. Because it's too powerful, we will never be able to overthrow it. So that's the answer for the first two questions. The answer for the third question is capitalism will end, but it won't be because people have overthrown it. It's because it will inevitably fail. And we can see signs that it's failing with things like the recession or global economic crisis. So one time we will have an economic crisis that's so bad that it will overthrow capitalism and we have communism. So this theory is slightly different, that we will have communism one day, but it's not because of our actions, it's not because we have free will, it's because capitalism will fail. Okay, what I would like you to do on the last slide, you've got a table full of information. I'd like you to colour code whether each one is humanist or structuralist. Humanist is Gramsci, structuralist is Althusser. Any problems with that, please let me know. Right, bye.